I want to go through the basic product platform for Hydrolast, how it relates to method shaving, how it works, and what its intended functions are specifically through the shave. First, before I proceed along that line, what I'd like to do is remind everybody of the importance of the forms. I invented these back in about 2000. These are used around the world, not just for method shaving, but for general traditional brush shaving as well. We have, of course, the north-south form number 1, which is the north-south axis. That, of course, sets the slope of the beard on the north-south alignment, allows for a very smooth, rapid, fluid blade action. Form 2 is what we call the center transverse. This, of course, sets again the movement of the beard toward the center of the face, again facilitating ease of blade off and accuracy and economy of effort. And then, of course, the third form is simply the obverse of the second. What we have in the third form is we have the counter grain, counter line cut to the inside. So form 1 is on the north-south axis. Form 2 is the center line transverse. Form 3 moves us to the center. There is no south-north cut in method shaving, with the exception of the center cut line right here. Everything else will move north-south into the center. There is, of course, the understanding that each form will cover approximately 10% of the 30% of the shave. So in form 1, we're going to really have a 10% reduction, beard reduction. In form 2, we'll have a 30% beard reduction. And form 3 will have a 30% beard reduction. The 10% that is left is what I'm going to cover in the next video segment right after this one. That is that vital 10% segment that we have to clear after the third form. So this is the 3-form sequence is the process of method shaving. This is the process of method shaving. 1, 2, 3. That brings us down to approximately a 90% grain reduction, which we will then gloss in the remaining 10%, which again will come in a later video to follow this one. Method shaving is single blade shaving. It is not multi-blade, and basically covers the double edge and increasingly the straight razor. We will not cover straight razor tonight, because that's going to be for a whole separate segment that's coming up. The straight razor is making tremendous headway in traditional brush shaving and also method shaving, and it really demands a treatment all unto itself. Right now tonight we're going to cover primarily exclusively the double edge. I will have several major segments on the straight razor to follow, in a whole separate segment on method shaving, Hydrolast, and the use of the straight razor. Bearing in mind, both of these are single blade systems, okay? In other words, the single blade is the active mechanism that does all of the beard reduction. Double edge, straight razor. All right, let's look here very quickly at the alignment of products in method shaving that covers all of this territory that we're talking about. We have in the front end, we have what are called primers here. We have buffers in second place, and we have conditioners in third place. The architecture of Hydrolast and method shaving is quite elegant. It's very simple. You have primers, buffers, conditioners. Primers wet the beard. Primers take water out of the sink, capture that water, and put that water into the beard, and that's what allows the blade to actually pass through the beard mantle and perform what is called a basic reduction, okay? A continuous reduction of the beard. We don't use the term shaving. There's a reason for that I'll get to in just a moment, okay? So to do that, we have what is called a hard soap primer. Those of you who have been long-time method shavers know that there's a vast range of primers. We won't get into primers tonight. Primers, that's a big subject. It depends on all kinds of variables as to which primer you're going to use. This is the great Pollen primer, the 300-gram Pollen primer, which is an unscented primer. I like it a lot. It's very popular, but I have, of course, behind me countless primers, including the original olive oil cube from many, many, many years ago. We take water, which is the basic primer in method shaving. Everything begins and ends with water, but we cannot put water straight on the epidermis because of what is called the acid mantle. The acid mantle is the skin's natural oil base, will repel the water, it'll evaporate too fast, and we cannot cut it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a vegetable-based soap, okay, this comes from France, and we're going to trap that water into a very aqueous liquid media called slag. This is a term I invented to describe the wet media that comes off of this. It's a very famous term, slag. It's going to trap that water, and we're going to put it, and it's going to hold it so that we can put it up on the face and have it penetrate the beard, okay? And then we're going to go on ahead, we're going to take our razor, we're going to take that beard down, all right? The mechanism, the two forms of tools, if you will, we use to apply the wet mix media or primer, okay, composite primer of water and slag, is the shave cloth and the brush, all right? You can use either one. The cloth has vast powers that the brush does not have, chief among them being the fact that we can load massive amounts of water into the mix through the cloth that we simply cannot out of the bucket of a shaving brush. But you can certainly use both. I have videos, of course, covering both, but for our purposes tonight, I'll be strictly referring to the cloth. So that is your priming cluster. These are your primers. Your water, soap slag trapped in the cloth or the brush fed to the beard. Then what we do, we have our buffers. All right, now, the key buffer, obviously, we actually have two key buffers here. We have a liquid buffer and we have a paste buffer, okay? A liquid buffer and paste buffer. The liquid buffer, of course, is cutting balm. Everybody knows what that is, and my shaving paste, all right? And this is not the kind of shaving paste you're going to put in the brush and put up and get all gooey and bubbly. It doesn't do that, all right? These are agents that are compounded into the skin. And what that means is they are applied to the face and massaged into the skin. And that's what performs the miracle of method shaving that allows that blade to pass across the skin without injury. And there's another product that many of my shavers are very familiar with, and this is a product called Activator. An Activator allows these products to communicate. It is an agent that allows the paste and the cutting balm to perform faster and to act, in a sense, thin them out so that they will move into the skin faster, okay? Activator it's a very wet agent. Certainly it could be called a primer, there's no question about it, but I like to use it here as a primer, certainly within this buffering system. And when we buffer our mix, what we're doing is we're massaging, we're compounding into the skin it's a clay-based media into the skin that allows the blade to pass over the skin and relaxes the epidermis so it does not get tight and overstretched. And so what we're doing is we have water here as a primer, and we're going to use Activator here as a primer, all right? Because we want to keep this media wet and we want to keep it moving. We don't want it to get gummed up. We don't want it to get dry or knotted up. So these products can certainly be switched around a little bit. A lot of shavers will use Activator to volumize the mix in the cloth. We can also use cutting balm to thicken the mix in the cloth. In our last position, we have the conditioner. We have, of course, the cream conditioner, and we've got the tonic. And this, of course, what this does is this resets the pH on the skin. This conditions the skin so that it's cool and wet and comfortable when you're done shaving. All you're going to do is when you get done shaving, you hot rinse down, you leave wet, you touch your conditioner, you massage it into your face, and you spray down, and it's dreamy. That's the sequence. Primers, buffers, family 1, primers, family 2, buffers, family 3, conditioners.